All right. Have a good show.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Welcome to an enlightened hour of interactive talk. This is Guided Spirit Conversations with host Marla Goldberrg. In this program, we spotlight guests from all over the globe who have helped others change their lives and will provide you with the tips, tools, and techniques that you need to help you make a difference in your own life. Now, here is Marla Goldberrg.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Guided Spirit Conversations. I'm Marla Goldberrg. For those of you who are celebrating Hanukkah, today is the first day of Hanukkah, so I wish you a very, very happy Hanukkah. May your lights shine bright. May you have lots of love, lots of gelt, and that the dreidel spins in your favor. So today our guest is Jill Kempner. Jill served as a massage therapist and yoga teacher for 20 years before evolving into an angel professional, or she likes to call herself an angel ambassador. As an angel ambassador, Jill helps you relax your body and mind and release those issues in the tissues. I just love that, especially pain issues, so you can receive love and healing from your angels. Welcome, Jill. How are you today?
Hi, I'm really great. Thank you so much.
Good. I'm so happy that you're here, and we're going to talk all things angels because I just love angels. But before we get into the angel portion, let's talk about the Jill portion. Let's talk about what was your life, were you attracted to angels young? Did they come later in life? How did the whole process evolve for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great question. I'm just, leaning in right now. I'm actually literally leaning into my microphone, but I'm also leaning in, to the support of my angels, because I definitely have parts that feel just really kind of, nervous and vulnerable, sharing my personal stories, even though of course they're going to be in my upcoming book. So I'm laughing about that. I wanted to name that because I think it's really important in my work to just be really honest, be really authentic. And that really kind of opens up the flow of my soul's voice. And then it also opens up me to be able to hear the angels and see the angels. So I think, I really think this started when, I'm just wondering if this is when I should mention this story. So I'm just going to listen to my soul about it. But yeah, I was, as you said, a massage therapist and a yoga teacher. I started out really young in that field. I was 18, going into massage school. And then shortly after that, I got introduced to yoga, and I just kind of fell in love with the healing arts. And the healing arts were really about me healing me.
Yep.
Really, it was all about, wanting to have this experience of relaxation, and wanting to realizing that when I gave it to other people, when I offered it to other people, I was also receiving it. And it was just this I was like, wow, like when I help other people relax, when I relax their shoulders, when I remind them to breathe, like it reminds me to relax and me to breathe.
Yes.
So it was just, it was just so natural, I think, for me. The other thing that, and so the yoga, so I had the massage and the yoga, and then I was really just so guided by my soul to study energy work and study energy medicine. And of course, I had multiple initiations that I actually talk about in my book. And I know we'll be talking about different ones today. One being that my father was murdered when I was 11 years old. And I think that was the part, I had a part that didn't want to say that right away and kind of start out with that. But I know that traumatic experience that I went through really led me to tap into spirit. Because my dad, one of my protectors, one of my parents was on the other side.
And he is one of your spirits. He's there with you.
Absolutely. 1,000%.
Yes. And so So you're going through this journey, and your father, he was on the other side with you. But then what brought you into wanting to work with the angels? What was the experience, that the catalyst that really sent you into a place where angels were? Because there's so many things out there. There's so many modalities. There's so many techniques. I know
Totally.
I'm trained in over 25. So
Wow.
I mean, there's a lot of things we can all go with, but angels, they just
Yeah.
resonate with some and not as much with others, though angels are with everybody all the time.
I completely thank you for saying that, because everybody has angels. That's a big thing I talk about in my book, is that everybody has angels, and we're all in these kind of different stages of awakening to them. So for me, the initiation I feel that really led me to the angels was like this dark night of the soul that I had, where I was I needed to go to the hospital, the psych hospital, and I talk about all that in my book. Kind of like the background of what led me to the psych hospital, but basically, in just a few words, it was really these issues in the tissues, that I hadn't been dealing with, the deep grief, and hurt, the trauma, really. I really had PTSD, but it was not diagnosed, and we didn't know what it was that made me kind of lose it for a little while, kind of have a nervous breakdown. And so that was in September of 2006 that I landed in the psych hospital. And it was like a reset button for me. I was like, wait, because I was the rock. I was the person who everybody came to share, to talk about stuff. I was strong, I was tough, I was a rock. And then I just kind of unraveled.
You crumbled, your rock
I crumbled.
crumbled.
Yeah, I crumbled. And in that crumbling, I needed to find myself again. I was like, who am I? And thank you. I want to back up a little bit. So I had my daughter, and I had some postpartum depression. I had a lot of anxiety in her first year of life because, it was all this unprocessed stuff. It was like my root chakra opened, gave birth to this baby, and now I'm caring for, my life slowed down, and I'm caring for this baby, and all of those fears that I hadn't dealt with, that I hadn't looked at, all of those issues in the tissues, right, that were suppressed, just came to the surface. And that's what led me to the psych hospital. And again, that was this reset for me. And from there, I started taking, I was like, what was my original intention with all of this? And I was like, I want to be happy. I was like, okay, let me get back to my happy. And so I just started taking classes that were fascinating to me. And I just fell in love with Reiki. And I'm sure if you have 25 modalities, I'm sure Reiki is one of them.
I have a Reiki-esque. I probably am one of the only ones who really didn't go through the whole Reiki process. But in my first mystery school, she taught us a Reiki-esque kind of modality.
Yeah, absolutely. So fell in love with Reiki. And I have to tell you about this synchronicity, because I'm really into synchronicities. So my dad's name was Billy. And my first Reiki teacher, my dad was Native American. And my first Reiki teacher's name was Billy. And she was coming from the Mescalero Apache Native American
Billy
tradition.
Topatate.
Yeah, Billy Topatate. Yeah, Billy
okay.
Topatate. Yeah, absolutely. She's my...
So I desecrated her name. I apologize, Billy. But I took classes with her too.
Okay, so be it. So I studied at MSI. I feel like that's where I got my graduate degree in energy medicine, because I took all of her classes. I studied with Billy and MSI from 2006 until 2015. So I studied with her for 9 years, and I took all the levels of Reiki. And I used to have a lot of sessions, I would have sessions with her. And in one of the sessions, I was stuck about something. And, she's like, you really have a connection with angels, Jill. I see you teaching something like angelic yoga or something. And I was like, ooh. Ding, 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 ding. And all these lights went off, because I had been playing with oracle cards for a few years. And then I was led. So what I feel is like the Reiki, self-Reiki, becoming a Reiki master, committing to that practice, starting to meditate every day, which was scary in a lot of ways, but I did it. I was like, I want to commit to this, because I felt so good when I was done, right? I felt peaceful. I felt calm. I felt alive after I would meditate. So I was like, okay, I know this is part of my journey. Um, and then the Reiki, self Reiki, just opened me up to the angels. And I got introduced to a beautiful teacher, Therese Evans, who taught me integrative energy therapy. And I never looked back,
That name is very familiar to me.
except to love myself, right?
Yeah, that's wonderful. And self-love, I talk about it all the time, how important it is, but we all get there. Hopefully we'll all get there. Not everyone gets there, but we all get there, for those who do, in their own journey, on their own path, because like fingerprints, we're all individual. And even though the process is, we might come to enlightenment, but we all get there from a different way. I look at it as a dartboard, and we're all coming from different directions to get to the sweet spot of life, which is the bullseye.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it
I
very
love
much
that.
works that way. I love that. But it's interesting when you said 2006. I'm wondering if our paths didn't cross there, because that was around the time I was going to MSI.
Wow. I wonder, I have a lot of the pictures of the different classes because Billy and her staff used to take, class pictures, and then I have a lot of them saved, and it was so funny. There's just so many synchronicities that, but I loved, studying with Billy. She opened my heart to unconditional love. She reminded me I was a master, and she held me to that standard, and it was just a really, really beautiful experience in a lot of ways. So I'm just so grateful but it was really, it was that commitment for me. It was the devotion, right? And I talk about that in my book. This devotion to the practice and the self Reiki that it opened up my chakras, right? It opened up my heart, it opened up my mind, it opened up all my chakras. And that's where, the angels came in. And, when I started studying integrative energy therapy, that's the form of healing I was talking about, that is basically healing with the angels. My body was healing, the pain was healing, the different issues in the tissues, studying that therapy, like, really opened my mind to the wisdom of the body, is what I'm hearing.
And when we talk about the healing, you not only healed on a physical level, you healed spiritually, you healed emotionally, mentally. And it's important that, people understand that the healing is not just a physical healing, that you can heal in your etheric body, which is the duplicate of your physical body. You can heal emotionally, you can heal mentally, because, we all have our bruises, our
Wounds.
like wounds. Thank you. Um, and so we all get there a different way, but the healing goes on all levels. It's not just the physical level.
Absolutely. And that's why I fell in love with this form of healing, integrative energy therapy, both Reiki and integrative energy therapy, because you literally learn about the layers of the aura and the imprints that are in your aura that you can clean and clear, and then, you're healing physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And it's so perfect, because I talk about all of that in my book, Receiving from Your Angels, 4 practices to relax, release, and receive to heal physical pain. So my whole thing is helping you heal your body with the love of the angels. That's really the work that I do. I'm so passionate about it, because your body, it's the temple. It's the temple of your soul. Your body is the divination tool.
That's a beautiful way of looking at it. And hopefully knowing that this is a divination tool, that that's why people talk about honoring your body, treating your body with kindness. And here's the thing, it's also about what you say to your body, because your body absorbs. So if you're sitting there saying, I'm fat, I'm tired, I don't feel well, this hurts, that hurts, and you keep repeating it, it's only going to hurt more, because the fact that your body will hear what you're saying and absorb into the tissues, like you say. And then you end up going, why do I still have this headache? Why am I getting this again? Why is this happening? Why is my stomach upset? Well, because the way you speak about it, when you honor your knees, your feet, your ankles, and the feet, the ankles, they all wrap around that, and they go, thank you for noticing and honoring us.
Absolutely. It's so perfect that you say that, because the second practice in my book, and actually the biggest part of my book, so I'm almost done writing my book. I'm on like page 92 of 135. I'm reading every single page. I'm editing it. I'm cleaning it up. I'm finessing it. I'm bringing the angel energy in. The biggest practice in my book is relax and cherish your body. So, I'm here to serve earth angels. And I have this, whole mission, right, of waking up earth angels. And really by taking care, treasuring your body soul connection and cherishing your body. I changed that title of that practice from relax and listen to your body to relax and cherish your body, because the angels said to cherish means to love, to protect, to care for, like to deeply, deeply care for. And I just felt like that was like exactly what the angels wanted to do. And part of how we do that, and I know we're going to talk more about this, but I want to name it here, is through the levels of relaxation. So physical relaxation, which is relaxing your muscles from your bones and anchoring your roots into the earth. Emotional relaxation, which is making room for all of you, making room for all of your parts, your universe of parts. Mental relaxation, which is exactly what it sounds like, right? I think the hardest, right? We have 70,000. I know we've went from like 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day. So there's a lot of thoughts. Or more. So slowing down the thoughts so that you can, that space between your thoughts is where the miracles, the creativity, the divine solutions, the receptivity, your intuition, right? Which is resides. And then there's spiritual relaxation, which is really about surrender. Essentially, if I put spiritual relaxation in one word, it's surrender. If I add a little more, it's surrendering into the arms of your angels and trusting divine order, which is a whole nother part of being an earth angel. So yeah, it's just loving your body, cherishing and this isn't from I was just talking about this yesterday. Cherishing your body isn't from this like egotistical place or like a worshiping place.
It's not a vanity place.
It's not a vanity place. Exactly. It's from this like, this is where my soul it lives. This is where my soul is, and how my body feels affects how my soul's light shines.
Yes, absolutely. And let's talk about so people may not know, what is an earth angel?
I love
that. So we're going to be
that.
taking a break in 1 minute.
Okay.
You know what? I'll tell you what, let's take our break now. We'll come back on the other side and talk about earth angels.
I love it. Awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks. Stay tuned, please.
All right, great segment. We're all clear. Back in a
Thank
couple.
you. That was good. I like that. I can't believe I bet the reason I'm so comfortable is I bet we've crossed paths.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I know I was a little bit nervous in the beginning, but I think okay, good. I had a part. So how long of a break do we have? Because my managers are like, how long is this break?
Just a minute or two.
Okay, a minute or two. Okay, cool.
So we continue talking. We're still streaming on Facebook.
Oh,
so
good.
You're aware.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then Matt,
I wondered about that. I was like, we're on a break, but I still see streaming. So yeah.
We are still streaming. We still continue the stream. And
Beautiful.
that's one of the benefits of watching the video, is that the guests and I still continue a conversation.
Love it.
So, I mean, we may talk about something more personal. We may talk about an incident.
Sure.
But yeah, so very nice. Very interesting. You're Native American as well.
Yes. Good realizing that. So I think I'm a quarter Native American. So my dad was half, meaning his dad was full-blooded. Yeah.
Right.
So there's a huge synchronicity. So when, Billy came into my life, just the name, right? I was like, this is a sign from God, right? From spirit, from my angels. Before I was even talking to angels or knowing,
right.
from my dad, that this is exactly where I'm supposed to. It was like that moment of divine order where you're just exactly where you're supposed to be.
And we always are. We just don't realize it. And we're experiencing exactly what we need to experience. And you have a choice. And I get into choice conversation, because the choice is, you have a choice to surrender and allow things to shift, or you're going to resist it and you're going to be like a salmon swimming upstream, putting in a lot of labor and not seeing much change in your life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
understanding that, if it's happening, pay attention, because there's a message, there's a reason, there's an education, there's growth in it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So much growth. I was thinking this time last year when I had another interview, that there was just, I'm just a different person than I was even this time last year. How much growth and healing has come, really, I feel, of course, from my connection with the angels, but really about grounding the divine, because that's really what I'm doing, is I'm taking this awesome, amazing divine energy of spirit, and I'm creating a container for it.
True. And next year, when you're on another, 1 second, Matt, when you're on the next podcast, you're going to go, my God, I'm so different. Thank you. We're ready.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
you will. I mean, it's just a minute, because it's growth.
You
It's
are
like watching a
listening
baby,
to Guided Spirit
it's different
Conversations.
6 months
To reach
later, a
Marla
year later,
Goldberg
2
or her
years
guest
later.
today, you're invited to call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is guidedspiritconversations@gmail.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. If you've just tuned in, I'm talking to Angel Ambassador Jill Kempner. And Jill is sharing her journey. We're talking about her upcoming book that will be launched sometime in 2021. And we're talking about what is an earth angel. And so we went on break. We were, you were talking about earth angels. So let's share with everybody, welcome back, and share what an earth angel is.
Absolutely. Thank you, Marla. So it was about a year ago that I've known I have been an earth angel for several years. And when I really started to come, I felt like I was a healer, I was a light worker. I felt very connected to light worker, light warrior, that term. And an earth angel, kind of, it's kind of like, well, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, and then there was that song about earth angels from the 50s, which is a beautiful song, but I was like, is this really who I am, and I just kept praying, who am I here to serve? Who am I here to wake up? Who am I here to lead, really? And, I just kept getting that message. And then I was like, well, what is an earth angel? Like, I had to define it, right? And I was like, kept asking the angels, like, okay, show me what an earth angel is. And sweetly, with this humbleness, they were like, look at yourself. And I was like, what? And so earth angels are highly sensitive, highly intuitive souls. So this means that you can sense energy beyond normal human limits, that your intuition, that all 5 channels of your intuition are open to the divine, right? Of course, the angels, absolutely, but creator, source as well. So you're literally tuned in. Another kind of characteristic of the earth angels is really this treasuring of your body soul connection, which we were just talking about, like how that you understand that you are a spirit in a body, that you understand that that you're more than human, right? But you're so human, right?
So human.
We're both, and so that's part of being an earth angel. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm living them, walking this human journey, but as a beautiful soul.
It's like a balance between the humanness and the spirit, and finding that balance between the two, because I truly feel that when we are as balanced as we could be, then life flows with us, because we're honoring both sides and we're taking care of both sides. But when there's that imbalance, I think it's when your life goes a little bit out of whack.
100%. And I could even, as you said that so intuitively, I think back to how I was, I was out of whack with my spirit, and that's how I landed in the psych hospital. It was just, I wasn't honoring the wisdom that was there. And there was so much wisdom to be, so much alchemy and transformation has happened from that moment of 2006. And of course, meeting one of my first teachers, in the spiritual realm was so important. Earth angels, another kind of characteristic of an earth angel, and this is something I feel is kind of like its own topic in and of itself. And I feel like in 2021, I'm going to be talking more about, is that that you've been here before, that that you've lived many lives. And in this lifetime, you're devoted to being a channel of unconditional love.
Yes. Yes. And what you find is your metaphysicians, your psychics, your mediums, people who are connected to spirit, yes, they've lived over and over again. Many of the other people have too. They just haven't either embraced that they were, the light hasn't gone on like, yeah, you've been here before, or they're so stuck, and I hate to use the word stuck, but they get so stuck in the human miseries, the lack, the woundedness, and that they can't get out of their own way to realize that, you've been here before. Even relatively new souls, have been here before. I have, the brand new ones, I'm not quite sure of, but the relatively new ones,
Star
the young
seeds.
ones, yeah, the young souls. And I'm not talking about children of this day, but there are people who you could tell that they just haven't gotten the experience underneath because they haven't woken up so they can help themselves.
Exactly.
And they can trust. I keep being guided to share this.
Sure.
When we pray, we always look up and go, oh, blah, blah, blah. But the reality of it is you don't have to look up. You can look straight ahead. You can look to the side, either side, because your angels are everywhere on your level. They're not above you. They're with you.
Absolutely. 1,000%. I love that you said that. The angels are everywhere, right? And I think, it's interesting because one of the things I've been kind of talking about with my group coaching right now is, kind of the challenge of being an earth angel. Actually, we talked about that yesterday. So, that we can, be too sensitive, right? That we can be, afraid to see our light. But what's so important about an earth angel, and one thing there's kind of two more things I feel is really important to name here, is that, we're resilient. So yes. Earth angels are resilient. We bounce back from challenges. And here's the part of the resilience that I feel is really an important part of my book, is that we, as earth angels, we're resilient. We bounce back because we can find the gem. We can find that pearl.
Yes.
Around that wound, that boulder of a wound, that we can go and that we know that that's really the purpose of those difficulties, the challenges, the pain, right? Of course, I focus on pain in my book, partly because
so many
it's really a personal, so many people are in pain, and it's a personal mission of mine. I was in part of why I'm writing this book is I was in excruciating pain. I tore my knee, and then I went back to work too early as a massage therapist carrying my table, and I tore my shoulder. And I was giving massages on a torn shoulder, and as you can imagine, that hurt a lot.
No, it did. It hurt, but I bet it just prolonged the injury and wouldn't let the injury heal. So here you're a healer trying to help other people, walking around physically wounded.
Yeah. And I was like, what am I going to do? And of course, that was the impetus I talk about in my book for becoming an angel professional, because I was like, I know I'm meant to do this healing, but how is it going to look differently now? And of course, I had to go through all of these fears around coming out of the closet, right? And talking about the angels more, right? I was doing it, but it was kind of like hidden, like, oh, my clients, I'd pull a card for them, but I'd still be massaging them, and I'd be talking about the angels and channeling angel energy, but it was still massage. And my body was like, you need to give up massage. You need to retire. And so I did at 20 years. I got my 20 years as an LMT, and then I retired and became an angel professional, which, by the way, is a brand new career that I created.
Well, along with being an angel ambassador.
Exactly.
I love that. So let's talk about, I want to talk about your clients, the people you teach, not necessarily clients, but your students, your community.
Yeah, of course.
the resistance to angels. Talk about some of the ways so that people understand that if you're doing this kind of behavior, it's resistance.
Yeah. I mean, this was funny because I was really praying a lot about, those that I serve, and I have clients, I have students. I really, of course, see myself as a teacher. It's a big part of my medicine and a big part, I was a yoga teacher. I still am a yoga teacher, and I teach Reiki, I teach IET. And, like what's the, because I love connecting with, I had to kind of go back to that, like when I first started connecting with the angels, and like how, what is the fear, right? What is the fear of, and it was, so many layers were coming up, and wisdom was coming. And I just realized that the biggest fear is judgment. It's fear of judgment.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, in a nutshell. That's so encapsulated, and it's so true, because that is it was a stumbling block for me. I couldn't say I was an energy healer. I went to school for 3 years, 14 modalities under my belt I graduated with. And yet if somebody said, well, what have you been doing? It's like, well, I'm an energy. And it was just so hard I couldn't own it. I couldn't step into it because of fear of judgment. And because while I was in school, I was getting a lot of judgment about it.
Yeah.
And, people think that, well, this is the way you were, so this is the way you still are. Well, no, because growth happens, healing happens, and you do become a different person. You do become a more enlightened and expanded version of yourself in the positive light. You heal the wounds, you heal the negative things, and though they're layered and some other stuff might come up from past lives, when they do, you heal them. They don't. We've mentioned this earlier. When you're in it, the change, it doesn't necessarily feel good. It actually, sometimes it's downright crappy. But once you understand that this is a point of change and you're able to take it and move with the assistance of people like yourself, myself, healers, metaphysicians, then you come out the other side, happier, more joyful. You start changing your life, and it becomes lighter and brighter. But it's
Absolutely.
acknowledging it first, and saying, okay, so like a cut hurts when you first cut yourself, but then it heals, and then you forget the cut was even there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's the same kind of analogy.
Absolutely. And, just talking about some of those fears of connecting with the angels, I think there's this, when we talk about judgment, there's so many layers of it. Sometimes there's that judgment, from the outside world, but I think there's even that fear of judgment of God, right? There's this fear of judgment from God. There's a fear of judgment from others. Then there's their own inner critic that is judging our experiences, that is judging our pain, that is judging our wounds. That actually, the angels talk so clearly about this. Why I love working with the angels is that there is no judgment from the angelic realm. This is why, and I also suffered from judgment for all the different reasons. I had a lot of defensive parts. My father was murdered when I was 11 years old. He was actually a hero. He stepped into a robbery in progress. An older gentleman was being robbed, and he stepped in and was stabbed. And, that wound, created, I had so much defense. I felt so sad, so hurt, so afraid.
And lost.
Lost. Yeah. And my defensive parts came all to the surface to protect all of that vulnerability that I'm just going to be a little emotional. Like, I wasn't able to process it at 11 years old. I wasn't able to process it till I was ready to process it. And when I was ready to process it, it was when I had my first child. It was like, time to face these fears. You're an adult, you're a mother, and it's time to face these fears. You're ready. And my soul knew, my soul held me. It's just so beautiful to think about it. My soul, my angels, of course, held me, in that defensive part, right? Like, we talk about the judgment, that's a part of you. The defensive part, all these different parts were protecting those vulnerabilities that weren't ready to, be seen yet. And then when they were, They were.
And it's how they end up working. So what are some of the common fears your clients feel um, about connecting with angels? Because people do, because the religious aspect of it as well. Many people say, like, I was raised Jewish. We really didn't have angels like they do in the Christian faith. And
Yeah.
so it was very alien to me. Not that I didn't want to know about them, but it was just, trying to mix the religious background I had to what's coming forward.
Yeah.
So how did you handle that with your clients or even students?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, my clients come, what's so cool is from all walks of faith, which I really love. And I just have just so grateful and so much respect for all walks of faith. And, I think that fear of rejection, that we're going to be rejected if we open up, right? Open up to the angels, open up our heart and mind. So there's this, it's this fear of rejection. It's of course the fear of judgment, which we talked a lot about. I think the other, it's interesting because when I was praying about this, what I was feeling was, there's this fear of being, of seeing something we don't want to see, seeing our shadow. Like if you could just, we could label all the things we're afraid to see, but I think we're afraid of our shadow, and that goes back to past lives. But I also think we're afraid of our light. We're afraid of shining. We're afraid of our power. We're afraid of our magnificence. We're afraid of being so compassionate.
It's so true. Why? Because society keeps closing our light in on us instead of allowing us to let our light shine through whatever avenue it is, whether it's creativity, intellectual, and on and on and on. But society tries to hold us back, because when they hold you back, they're able to control you.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Absolutely.
by allowing you to be your light, but to be yourself, well, you may not be as obedient to their will.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what the angels are saying, the angel, as an angel ambassador, this journey with the angels is about self-love. It's a journey of self-love. It's a journey of self-compassion. It's a journey of awakening your light for you.
Yes.
And for the world. And basically what I'm doing in my book is I'm grounding the divine. I'm taking this amazing, miraculous energy, and I'm sharing it in these very grounded ways, of renewing your devotion, which is committing to yourself, committing to spiritual self-care, committing to taking care of your physical body and your energetic body.
Let's talk about, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Go for it.
No, continue, please.
And through relaxing and cherishing your body, through releasing and leading with your heart. I'm talking about releasing the judgment, releasing the protectors, because truth is we're divinely protected. Yes. So all of these human, ego protectors that we've created, we love them. We're going to take care of them. We're going to nurture them. We're going to evolve them. But it's like really, as an earth angel, we are here to embody the benevolence of the divine. And then through receiving, right? My whole medicine is receiving, but you kind of can't get to receiving. I mean, we want to say receiving is so awesome, but how do we get there? You need to renew your devotion. You need to relax and cherish your body, and you need to release and lead with your heart. Then you're going to start to receive and honor your intuition. And there's a flow to those practices. Although they work both ways, they're specifically designed to support you in healing whatever pain you have, whatever issue in the tissue you have. I mean, literally, it doesn't matter if it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, or karmic. The angels can help you heal it.
That's amazing. So we have to take a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned for more with Jill Kempner, Angel Ambassador.
I love that. Thank you.
Me too.
You were going to say something. Yeah.
Back into.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I did. And there was something you mentioned. It was like, yeah, I want to bring this up. And I was like, oh God, I can't remember what it is. That always happens to me because I get guided to say something, right? And then when I can't say it, all of a sudden, it's like obviously not that important, or it's going to come back and you're going to be talking about something else and you're going to trigger it. And it's like, okay, but just I think what you had just said, all of that is so important. And people have to understand too that by embracing the angel, well, asking for the help, first of all, because they have to ask. Angels are just not stepping in. You've got to ask for the help.
And I want to say this because thank you for mentioning that. Free will. I talk about this in my book. God created you with free will. And when I say God, I say it loosely. I mean creator, source, goddess, creatrix, whatever resonates with you, put that word in there, okay? Great spirit. I used great spirit for a really long time. I had parts that had resistance to the word God, and now I've embraced that. Like I really worked through that, that uncomfortableness around that word and that term. So you have to ask for help because, and this is the thing we talked about this a little bit in the GCDC about asking for help.
Yes.
And one thing I wanted to say is that here's the thing. We want to say, okay, angels, help me with everything, carte blanche. And wouldn't that be so great?
Right.
But we have to ask for every single specific issue in the tissue. I mean, you can be general and that's okay, but you have to ask, like, I need help with my hip pain. Thank you for helping me with my hip pain. Thank you for helping with my shoulder. Thank you for helping me with this interview, whatever.
So if you don't know, and maybe we should wait for this, but I was going to ask, if you don't know what angel does what, how do you ask? And the second part of that question is that when, God, too many things at one time.
I know.
When you ask,
slow it down, angels.
So you hear people say, oh, you have to invoke or evoke in a certain way. I personally don't believe you have to say some long prayer over and over and over again to be able to get their attention. I really truly feel that if you don't know who the angel of healing is or the angel of compassion, you can just say, I need comfort, I need compassion, I need support. Whoever out there is the angel to do those things, please come to me, help me, guide me.
That's exactly it. Now, of course, I have beautiful prayers that I have my clients say that are support their awakening and their heart opening. But literally, you can say, angels, help me now. Here's what I'm hearing too, Marla. It's I love your process. You know, what they were saying is that, you know, it's about knowing what you need. So it's listening. This is where this is about charity. This is where the physical body and the energy body, which I would love to talk about because that's my passion, you know, is this connection between your physical body and your energy body and knowing yourself. A big part of why we even want to receive from the angels is to know and love our whole self. So this is about knowing yourself and releasing all those fears of seeing yourself, seeing your light.
All right, Mother, we are coming back.
Perfect.
Awesome.
So true. It's so true.
I love it.
We could talk for hours.
Yeah, seriously.
Just talk for hours.
Talk for hours.
Guided Spirit Conversations. To reach Marla Goldberrg or her guest today, you're invited to call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is guidedspiritconversations@gmail.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. I'm talking today with Jill Kempner, Angel Ambassador. Check out Jill's website at jillkempnerhealing.com. Learn about what she does, how she does it, the passion, the grace she brings with all she does is really phenomenal. And it takes all the I can't find the word, but all the fallacies out of what angel healing is about. She brings it from a really not only realistic point of view, but easy to incorporate point of view. And we're going to bring her back to talk a little bit more. But first, it's charity shout out time. So Jill's charity is Have Dreams, havedreams.org. Talk about how Have Dreams, Jill. Tell us about it and why it's so near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. I love this part of the offering as well. So,
Thank you.
so Have Dreams is a nonprofit organization that helps autistic families. It has all these wonderful programs for autistic kids, and it's not only kids, but even through adults. I'm forgetting the age, but possibly into the 20s. So they offer all of these wonderful programs to support, those kids that are on the spectrum, those and their families as well.
Yeah, because families definitely need support, especially if they're non-communicative on the spectrum.
Yeah,
And
this has a personal place in my heart. We have a family member who is autistic. He's a young boy, and my nephew, and it's just, beautiful to see him come out of his shell, knowing that these programs are there for him. And I know a lot of, different organizations are struggling with COVID. And, so this year I was able to have a birthday fundraiser on Facebook, and I was able to raise money for Have Dreams. And that just felt really, really good. And thank you for everybody who donated. And really, it was just a beautiful, beautiful contribution. It felt really good to be able to share in that way and keep the programs going for those that need it.
I love that. I don't know why. I just heard Angel's Light. I heard that something needs to be started called Angel's Light. I just share it as I get it.
Awesome.
I
love your intuitive. I love your intuitive downloads, Marla.
Well, thank you. So when we were on the other side, you said you wanted to talk about the physical and the energetic bodies.
Absolutely.
Let's dive in.
Exactly. And I know you know about the energy body. So I'm excited to hear what kind of downloads are coming forth through you today. So, what I talk about in my book and what the angels talk about is this beautiful relationship, this sacred relationship between your physical body and your energy body. So your energy body is designed to protect you. It's designed to help you release what no longer serves you. It's designed to help you receive all of the love of the angels. And your energy body is designed to keep you connected to the divine. It's there to keep you connected. So I just want to talk about, I could spend hours talking about this, and I've been teaching these wonderful classes about the layers of the energy body. So we have our roots, our energetic roots.
Yes.
That are at the root chakra, the pelvis. They flow down your legs. They go through the soles of your feet into your earth star chakra and deep into the earth.
Yes.
So that's the first layer that I talk about, and how I link it in my book. It's so cool how the angels linked all this stuff for me and made it, in, like you said, a very tangible, grounded way. Is you access your roots, your energetic roots, through physical relaxation. Then we have our inner universe of parts. So your universe of parts, now I didn't create parts, right? This is from the internal family systems, Dick Schwartz model of psychotherapy.
Okay.
However, what the angels showed me is that your parts, this is a therapy that really was very transformational in my healing, and I still work the medicine of it every day. So your universe of parts are, like we talked about, right? You have this beautiful soul. Your soul is whole. This is a download I got working with a client. Your soul is fearless. And I was like, yes. I love that, right? Your soul is whole, vast, peaceful, filled with, your soul is spirit.
Your soul is love.
Your soul is love.
So
it's just these parts inside. It's really the parts inside of us that have the issues and the tissues, right?
It's the ego parts, isn't it?
It's the ego parts. But this is part of our energy body. You have to understand our parts are part of the non-physical world.
Yes.
And we can access our parts through emotional relaxation, which is making room for all of you, right? And bringing your emotions into harmony, into balance. Then we have our chakras, which I know a lot of people know about. When you work with the angels, we work with the 13 spiritual chakras. The 7 chakras are the 3-dimensional chakras. I love them. We needed to have the 7 rainbow chakras in order, in the 3D world, right? The 3D chakras, in order to to awaken the 5D chakras. So when we talk about the 13 spiritual chakras, and I want to say this, the chakras are spinning energy centers
Yes.
that run along the length of the spine.
Clockwise.
Yes, they're portals. They're even more than that. They're temples. It's a whole nother way to think about your chakras, right? They're spinning energy centers, but they're even deeper than that. And they have all of your earth angel medicine in there. All of your medicine is in these chakras. So that's why chakras are talked about so much, and so many different modalities talk about the chakras,
Yes.
which I think is another synchronicity. And then there's your aura, your electromagnetic field that's around your body. Oh, and the chakras you access through mental relaxation. That's what we talk about in my book. So that's why meditation. That's why that's why a lot of people kind of right now don't get chakras. You know, if you're not spending time in meditation, you're not slowing your mind down. The idea of these spinning energy centers or these temples, it's you need to slow down in order to connect with them and slow down your mind.
And understand that in each chakra, there's a whole, like, it's all filled with information. So each chakra it's almost like each chakra has its, if you look at the Akashic Records is recording absolutely every feeling, thought, projection, action that you've ever taken, each chakra also has that. And it's like its own little individual file cabinet with, you know, takes in what's going on and what you can use to heal, what you can use to access for your highest and best good.
Absolutely. And I love that, because it's literally, I see the chakras as these portals of angel love, right? These angel receivers, and that we're giving and receiving through our chakras. And then of course we have our beautiful aura, which we can access through spiritual relaxation, which, by the way, when the angels told me that, I was like, I love this, you know, like this whole I'm not saying I made it up. I'm not saying I made up spiritual relaxation. However, the way they showed it to me was so beautiful. And that's one of the ways to access your aura. And we have to go through those layers of the energy body as an earth angel to really, here's one of the things the angels have been teaching me: to walk with an awareness of your energy body, to move through your day with an awareness of your roots, your parts, your chakras, and your aura, not in an overwhelming way, but in a very self-loving way.
In a very mindful way.
Mindful way too.
Yeah, mindful.
Love
wow.
it.
That is, I love that. I love it. And I think that we all need to understand and realize and remember that every energetic field, any mechanism, and a chakra is a mechanism of sorts. They all have a weaving effect with everything else. So what you do with your chakras, you weave into the other energetic fields and your physical, your emotional, your spiritual, your mental bodies. Yeah. And go from there. So we only have time for one last quick statement that you would want to share as we close about
Yeah, I'm just listening to the angels. I see that. So yeah, this is what I'm hearing. Let's put our hands over our heart.
Okay.
So just placing the palms of your hands over your heart and just taking a deep breath in. And exhaling and relaxing. And just saying, this is something I teach all of my clients and all of my students. I am devoted to receiving love from my angels.
From my angels.
So that's opening your heart to your angels' love and allowing yourself to receive their devotion for you.
Jill, thank you so much. Thank you for being on the show. When your book comes out, we'll need to have you back. There's still so much to talk about.
That.
I want to thank everyone at Voice America for all you do to keep the show going and on and keep me on track. I'm so grateful for you each and every day. Bridget, thank you. You're my right hand, you're my left hand. Thank you so much for all you do for me. Oh my God, thank you. And I want to thank you, the listeners, for taking the time out of your day, out of your life, to be a part of this show. You know, the show is for you. It's to help you in your growth through my guests and what they have to offer. So my prayers and hopes are that you are receiving what we're giving out for you today. To those celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah again. You know, may these 8 days just be filled with miracles and mirth and joy and love and light. And as always, I ask that you be socially considerate of others. The numbers are still going up. I know we're getting tired of this after all these months, but please, you don't know what anybody else is dealing with. So wear your masks, sanitize your hands, and please keep your distance. And until next week, as always, I send you love. I send you blessings. I send you gratitude. You are loved. Please know that and stay well. Take care.
Namaste.
Namaste.